Here goes.
What's up, everybody? Amidst other things that went down in the world of football over the weekend, one I'm going to start off with is the Serie A, Inter Milan versus Napoli. I'm very much concerned about that because of, yes, indeed, Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen started the game, got a rating of 7.5 in that game, which is creditably good. But then the ultimate or the exclamation point is that Inter Milan thoroughly thrashed Napoli by 3-0. Now, Inter Milan are on top of the Serie A with 35 points after 14 games, while Napoli are on 24 points after 14 games, 7 wins, and that's a good 11 points behind Inter Milan. What am I getting at? You know, the past weeks when Victor Osimhen was injured, there was the speculation that Chelsea and Arsenal wanted Victor Osimhen to join their ranks. It was a good thing for me. The newspapers were rife with the news, and some of their fans, the Chelsea fans and Arsenal fans especially, we're really angling to know which one was better. Now, if I take you back a little bit, if you have been following We Talk Sports with me, the big ID, at the transfer window, there was something I said that Victor Osimhen had outgrown Napoli. This was not a case of loyalty or allegiance. You know, for me, Napoli's win of the Serie A is like a unicorn. It's like Leicester City winning the Premier League. It's like Blackburn Rovers winning the Premier League. It will be very difficult for it to happen again. And moreover, Luciano Spalletti left the club to become the coach of the Azuris. So I had expected that Victor Osimhen would cash in on the success of winning the Serie A, cash in on the success of scoring a humongous amount of goals to become the capocannoniere of the Serie A, cash in on the success of being nominated as one of the best footballers of the Ballon d'Or, the FIFA best footballers, and then move on to a better league. Currently, Victor Osimhen is earning about 90,000 plus pounds every week, which is in comparison to other great strikers. I'm talking about Erling Haaland, who earns about 553,000 pounds a week. And I'm talking about the likes of Kylian Mbappe, who is earning a humongous amount of money every week. Now, I expected, it's not about the money though, but it's about what it means and how much he is valued. So I expected that Victor Osimhen would cash in on it and then move over to a better league that aptly suits his qualities and values him. But he didn't do that. There was so much talk about it to Manchester United, to Bayern Munich, but it didn't work. There was even a time we were talking about to PSG or Real Madrid. It was muted, but it didn't work. He didn't move. He opted to stay back at Napoli. I felt that was the first big mistake. It was a big mistake for me. You know why? In comparison to Taiwo Awoniyi that I said that shouldn't have moved from Union Berlin to Nottingham Forest, I felt that was a wrong move. I felt Taiwo Awoniyi should have stayed back at Union Berlin and one more season before he moved so that people will actually know his worth. He opted to move to Nottingham Forest. He got some couple of goals, but he's still there and he's out injured again with strugglers. Likewise, Polonarcho. But Victor Osimhen had been able to break a certain barrier that most African or Nigerian players were not able to break. I think only Samuel Eto'o has been able to do that, winning the Pichichi Awards in La Liga, a prestigious league, and then Victor Osimhen becoming the first African to win the Capo Condoniere in the Serie A. So I expected that his handlers, his managers would push for a move to a big club where he would have the pedestal or the platform to showcase and the support to command the attention and the respect that he deserves, that his talents deserve. But he opted to stay. First mistake, if you ask me. First mistake. Because number one, Spalletti moved. Number two, it wasn't going to happen again. Napoli doesn't have the resources that Juventus has. Napoli doesn't have it. Napoli is controlled by, Aurelio Laurentiis, who I think is an eccentric. Who kind of like reminds me of Daniel Levy or Tottenham Hotspurs, who is quite shrewd and would rather get water from a rock rather than drill to get. See, that's the kind of person he is. So that was the first piece of error for me. And then the issue of the coconut thing and the social media abuse that he got and all that prompted, and most people said that he was going to leave. So I was hoping that would happen, but that didn't happen. And then he started the season, scored 6 goals, got injured, and then the controversy of the social media. And then again, we're getting to the winter transfer window. Speculations arrive. Chelsea showed interest in Victor Osimhen. I wasn't particularly happy about that or interested in that. But when Arsenal threw their heart into the foray, I'm not an Arsenal fan, but the way Arsenal and Mikel Arteta has been able to mold Arsenal into what they are right now. Last season, I knew Arsenal was not going to win the title because they didn't have the depth in squad and it was inexperience. They didn't have the depth in squad and there was too much inexperience in that. I knew when it comes to the sprint, Manchester City will put on the afterburners and they'll zoom off. And that's exactly what happened. But this season, there seems to be a different swagger to Arsenal. And people need to know that. And imagine the amount of supply that would come in if somebody like an Osimhen, a proper number 9, will be playing for Arsenal. I'm not talking about Gabriel Jesus or Eddie Nketiah. Yes, Nketiah has about 5 or 6 goals, but that's not the kind of prolific striker Arsenal needs with the kind of supply that they have. So I was kind of interested when Fabrizio Romano said that it would take a certain amount of money to get Arsenal or get Victor Osimhen out of Napoli. But my only concern was that could Arsenal afford the release clause? Now, one of the arguments which is still unresolved, which I hope Victor Osimhen will not make the second mistake, because there's also another news that emerged, which you will see there, that Victor Osimhen, Laurentiis is saying that Victor Osimhen might sign a long-term contract, or has agreed to sign another long-term contract with them, which I hope will not be the case. There's still this argument that Victor Osimhen wants a release clause to not be more than 120, while the Laurentiis says that they want the release clause to be at about 160. So between 120 and 160, that's where the argument is. Secondly, that would not be a problem for Chelsea, but to all the Chelsea faithfuls who are my friends, I don't think Chelsea would have been good for Victor Osimhen, even if Mikel Obi is trying to form that he wants to be the agent that will bring Victor Osimhen to Chelsea. I don't think it will work. As much as I like Pochettino and what he's doing there, trying to mold the players, it will take some time before Chelsea gets to that level. And Victor Osimhen doesn't have that time. Victor Osimhen right now needs to be competing with the likes of Erling Haaland, competing with the likes of Kylian Mbappe. Because if you look at the Ballon d'Or list, this is the new generation. And Victor Osimhen right now needs to leave a team. I'm trying to find the right words to describe Napoli. Napoli is not that team that will put Victor Osimhen once again in the Ballon d'Or discussion or conversation. It won't. Right now, they are joint fourth in the Serie A. Victor Osimhen just has 6 goals, and they were thrashed comprehensively by Inter Milan. Lautaro Martinez is already on 13 goals of the season, while Victor Osimhen is still on 6. Kvaratskhelia is not firing. They have had change of coaches. You've gone from Spalletti, who has left. Then you had Rui Garcia, and now you have Walter Mazzarri. It will take time, and it will be at the expense of Victor Osimhen. So it is the time for Victor Osimhen to move. But the question is where? I'm saying it for me. I ain't Victor Osimhen, but if you look at it, Arsenal will be the best team. Question once again, can Arsenal afford to pay the wages of Victor Osimhen? Because coming as a top 9, Victor Osimhen would want to command some huge wages. Oh yes, he will command some huge wages. I'm looking at Erling Haaland commanding £500,000 a week. I'm looking at, and then the highest paid player in Arsenal is Kai Havertz at £330,000 a week. I think Victor Osimhen, if Arsenal offers him about £300,000 a week and invest in getting Osimhen out of Napoli, maybe trigger the release clause of about between 120, maybe 130. Victor Osimhen might just want to move. And it will have that kind of effect which Haaland brought to Manchester City. With that supply, I think Osimhen will bang in so many goals that then Arsenal will really be a title contender or a real challenge to Manchester City. Because as it is right now, Arsenal are title contenders. They are throwing it. So they need that last piece in the puzzle. And that's a ruthless, single-minded number 9. Not Jesus, not Nketiah, but an Osimhen. That person whose sole purpose is to score goals. And you don't get it cheap, especially if you're going to get it in January. So I think Victor Osimhen, I think Laurentiis might just be playing the market by saying that Victor Osimhen is going to sign a long-term deal. I hope he's not going to make that mistake again. Because if he does, that's locking him down. And he will lose out on a whole lot of things. The Ballon d'Or, FIFA best players, the conversation into which he's supposed to be at. So I hope that his agent, what's the name of the agent again? Roberto Calenda, will be able to see what we here in Nigeria are seeing. Not because we love Arsenal, but we want our best players to stand out. Really. We hope that Victor Osimhen would not. I honestly, I seriously hope, because as it is right now, Napoli is not the place for Victor Osimhen anymore. Straight up. He should be done with Napoli. There's nothing remaining for Victor Osimhen at Napoli. And that's a fact. The future is out of Napoli. I do hope maybe Real Madrid will call him since they said they're no longer interested in Kylian Mbappe. That would be a gem. That would be a dream. But the other best club that will suit Victor Osimhen and where he will thrive with a plethora of young, hungry, fat players who would feed him the ball perpetually in the air, on the ground. And with his ruthless single-mindedness, Osimhen will get a number of goals with Arsenal. If Arsenal really wants to win the league, and if Arsenal and Victor Osimhen really wants to be regarded as one of the best strikers in the world, he needs to be scoring a number of goals, and he needs to be getting that kind of supply, just the way Kevin, what's his name? Kevin De Bruyne supplies Haaland and Grealish and all that. They give Haaland consistently, continuously, banging in. He scored a number of goals, 50 goals. Victor Osimhen can achieve that, can get that if he is in a good club, and that good club for me will be Arsenal. But not stay back at Napoli. Not his agent. But somebody who can bang in 26 goals in his second season in the Serie A. 33 in all competitions. Right now, he's in contention in Nigeria. 20 goals in 26 games and 27 games. You know he's going to catch up with Rashidi Yekini. You know that this is a future African footballer of the year. You need the right platform. And Napoli is not it. So signing a new deal with that, when I saw it, oh man, it didn't hit me right. It didn't hit me right. But like I said, I love you, my brother. You are something that Nigeria needs to bring us back on the map. I'm not disregarding the likes of Victor Boniface or Sadiq Umar, who are doing exceptionally well. But if Victor Osimhen opens that channel just the way Kanu Nwankwo did and Stephen Keshi did before that, it will be a huge, huge one. And I hope Arsenal takes the chance. And I hope that Victor Osimhen and his agent, Calendar, will do the right thing for Victor Osimhen. Tell me what you think. Hit the subscribe button, post a comment. Frankie Debudialapa is my name, and that has been We Talk Sports. And I'm still the greatest.